Welcome to Autotown. From the factory floor to the C-suite to the dealership lot, everyone is welcome in Autotown, a place to go for insights and analysis of what's happening in the auto industry. I'm your host, Jamie Butters. Hey, I'm Jamie Butters. It is my honor to welcome you to Autotown. Autotown is your place for insights about the auto industry, representing all of its constituents. From the factory floor to the C-suite to the dealership lot, everyone is welcome in Autotown. Autotown is brought to you in part by Automotive and by Toyota. We're recording on August 3rd, 2026, and riding shotgun with me as my guest co-host is Larry Vellequette. He's a senior staff reporter and columnist at Automotive News, where he covers Toyota Motor North America, as well as Mazda and Subaru, two automakers that Toyota has stakes in. He's also a regular on the Weekend Drive podcast. Before joining AN in 2011, Larry had a long career at the Toledo Blade. Larry, welcome to Autotown.
Yes, it's great to stop by, Jamie. Just around the corner for me.
It's a little bit up the road.
A little bit up the road.
A little later, I'm going to browse the dealership lot with Wayne Yount from Michelin. And in the Town Hall segment, Larry and I will talk about retirees' vehicle needs and preferences. But first, Larry and I are going to take a quick drive around the block and talk about the latest in the industry. The drive around the block is sponsored by Toyota, maker of the all-hybrid Camry sedan. Of course, we continue to cover Toyota the same way we would if they weren't a sponsor, the same as we cover its peers. Last week on the radio, Keith Naughton was riding shotgun. He's been covering Ford for years, and actually we talked about a lot of Ford stuff. So today we happen to have Larry here, so we're going to talk about Toyota. No big deal. Larry, I don't feel like I need to tell you not to pull your punches, but please know we have free speech here in Autotown.
We're all good, Jamie.
Good. All right. First things first, this just in, we have July auto sales coming out here on this Monday. Record results for the Korean brands. Honda and Acura continue to roll along. Mazda, though, was down again. I'm sure they don't have a lot of domestic production, but I would have guessed that by now they'd be coming around against some bad comparisons a year ago and have a chance to put up some wins, but still not. What's going on?
I think it's I don't want to say a planned down month. They had a very good July last year.
Oh, okay.
So they're not off that much. They're not off their plan. I don't think you got to worry about where they're going to end up. They've got some issues to deal with, obviously, with tariffs. They are a small manufacturer, and like all small manufacturers, tariffs really took a bite. Mm-hmm. It forced them into making some decisions they didn't want to make, including moving the M3 sedan back to Japan. But they'll be okay.
Yeah, it's a tough stretch for Mazda and Subaru, both as, like you say, smallish. They're not big global companies that can absorb this kind of thing like Toyota or Honda or Hyundai.
Yeah, but even Toyota, it's a pretty tough. It's a pretty tough shot to absorb. You know,
truly.
When things end with B or start with B's and they don't go away, and you're going to face them again this year.
Yeah,
those are big numbers to have to deal with.
Toyota has had remarkably good sales for the most part, down a little this month. North America is no longer the profit center that it was. They've been posting losses here, which is really strange.
It's very strange, and it's strange, because of tariffs. Mm-hmm. This is the topsy-turvy world we live in now.
Because of tariffs, and because along the way, Toyota has prioritized steady business for its suppliers and its dealers over short-term profitability.
Yes. Yeah, they're willing to make sure that their two partners, right, the partners that supply them and the partner that buys them, don't get into trouble, mm-hmm. and that's cost them a little bit because of their massive global footprint. As the world's largest automaker, they can do that, but it still hurts.
Yeah. Toyota, like I said, they had a good first half of the year, and it's not like July was devastating. GM doesn't report monthly results anymore, but all four of their brands were down in the first half of the year. there's been some talk about Toyota topping GM again in the U.S. As someone who follows Toyota as closely as anyone in this country, do you think Toyota will catch GM this year?
If Toyota catches GM, it will be GM's fault. I'm gonna put it that way. Toyota is if they're in a race, they're doing it with a broken ankle, right? They're lost about 60,000 units out of their RAV4 because of the changeover to the new model.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they catch GM, it'll be because GM kneecapped itself.
That they had something go wrong on theirs, either with their supply chain or some sort of bad misstep in the market. Maybe.
Yeah, and I will say, nobody within Toyota, other than the last time this happened, right, which was during the supply crisis in 22.
Yeah.
Nobody in Toyota really cares or says they care about whether or not they top General Motors. But the trend is what the trend is,
Nobody said they cared before, and then Akio told the dealers he did a little happy dance.
Yeah.
And, so it makes me think maybe it matters a little more to them than they let on. And it is, I mean, it would be so bizarre if you had told me 20 years ago that Toyota might be number one in U.S. sales and be losing money in North America. That just seems so antithetical to their approach historically. It'd be a very strange thing to see.
Well, you look at their results last year. They had their fourth best year ever
of sales
in the United States, right? Fourth best year ever, and lost money.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. That's absolutely crazy. They did it with they had the industry's lowest incentives. They had the industry's tightest inventory all year long and lost money. Now, their dealers didn't lose money. No. Their suppliers didn't lose money. No. But they did.
Yeah. I talked earlier this year with Ryan Grimm in their supplier relations, and he said, their priority was to think medium term.
Yeah.
Right? Focus on the medium term. Take care of your partners. And that's what they did. Now, when that medium term turns around, or short term turns to medium term, they've got to have some solutions. Some of it's pricing. They've kind of had acknowledged over the year they'll raise prices if they can, if the market will let them. It seems like they could and should, but they don't want to upset the boat. They don't want to make it harder for dealers to sell cars.
No, because their secret sauce, right? The thing that makes Toyota successful are the people that buy Toyotas and keep buying Toyotas and never move. They just move within the lineup, within the brand lineup. That return rate of customers is that's their golden ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to do anything that would anger their returning Camry customers, right? They're returning RAV4 customers to make them consider going elsewhere.
There was a big earthquake, and we talked about supply disruptions and all that. Big earthquake in Japan. Is that how much is that affecting Toyota, and how much is it affecting them here in the U.S. and North America?
It's affecting them somewhat. Our colleague, my colleague, your former colleague, Hans Greimel, all over it. In Japan itself, they are having some disruptions because of the earthquake. This is pretty sizable. And so it's going to take them a while. Will it trickle down over here? Probably not, because their supply chain to get vehicles over here is sufficiently flexible enough that dealers here will probably not see a disruption by the time we see it, because it takes a couple of weeks to get the vehicles across. I think we'll be all right.
Manufacturing and supplier relations are so core to Toyota's success. It makes a lot of sense that Daisuke Toyota, son of the chairman, Akio Toyota, and great-grandson of the company's founder, is taking a factory job instead of he's been working in the software division for a while. Now he's trying to really build out his knowledge of the business, I guess give himself a chance to be CEO someday. What's the thinking on the time frame? Is this going to be just a few years down the road?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know. Nobody really, perhaps outside the family, knows what the time frame is. Akio is relatively young for a Japanese executive, I guess, for such a senior, for a chairman, relatively young. And eventually, we all move on, and there's going to be a change in leadership and family leadership. Well, it's going to be the next couple of years, probably not, but this is a good seasoning opportunity for him, for his son. It's a good place to learn the real nuts and bolts of the business. This isn't software. This is where things get real, and they get three-dimensional, and they get you're dealing with outside partners,
human beings, all these complicated things.
Logistics complications.
Yeah,
it gets very real very fast.
Yeah,
that's why it's my favorite part of the business.
I mean, I learned about the industry covering Toyota, and so it's always been to me. Certainly their approach, you earn your money on the factory floor, and in your your supplier relation, all the things that come to play, the factory floor, that's where you make the thing that is worth more than it costs to make. If you don't do that right, of course, yes, you have to be able to sell them, you have to market efficiently and all that, but if you can't build something that is worth more than it costs to make, you don't really have a very good business. Yeah. And that's where you prove it.
Yeah. And yet, you look, that is where they have challenges. They have big challenges. This engine recall on the Tundra and the GX is nothing to laugh at. And I don't know that they've got it completely figured out. I mean, if you haven't seen this, this was a massive engine recall, over 100,000 vehicles just in the Tundra, and then the GX as well. This is a V6 engine, and they're getting these shavings that are making their way and just destroying the engines. So they did what they thought was the right thing, right? Which is to tell their customers, hey, we're going to take care of you. We'll just give you a new engine, right? If it goes bad, we're going to give you a new engine. And, extended out the coverage. But they thought they had it solved. What's really interesting about this, 2 different plants on 2 different continents with the same problem.
Wow. So that's a design function.
Yeah, it's a design function. And we should note, this was an engine that was designed during COVID.
Wow. So you wrote that feature story about how they were standardizing or figuring out a process for dealers so they could do it more efficiently, so they could do the repairs more efficiently than if one just rolled in off the street. But even that fix, or they don't necessarily have the fix, even if they can swap out engines more quickly, they don't necessarily know they've got
let's just, I don't know that, I would say that they don't have complete confidence that what they've come up with, I mean, they have a fix.
So they're fixing it.
The fix is doing it.
They might have to fix that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because that happens sometimes. You have a recall. The replacement part needs to be recalled.
Yeah. I mean, this thing it's been a couple of years now. It's kind of been a black eye for them.
And it gets expensive.
It's expensive, and it hits right at the core of why people buy Toyotas.
The reliability, and you want to have a powertrain that's reliable.
That keeps you moving forward. Yeah. Ideally, yeah.
So, wanted to ask about, you wrote a piece about Toyota Financial Services really running out of office space. They're bringing everyone back to work, and they don't have room for them. People are having to platoon desks and such. What's going on there? Why even bring people back? I guess maybe they don't want them to make engine-like mistakes from working at home, like in COVID.
They right now Toyota's back at 4 days a week.
Okay.
Right. It's by department, depends on each department. TFS and the customer, what moved is largely the customer service. But TFS, which is the nation's largest captive lender for autos, moved because they had too many people. They were hot racking desks, right? They use an Old Navy term. Shared desks because they had run out of space. Now this was a facility you well know they only built less than 10 years
It's
ago.
huge.
It's enormous.
It's a campus.
Yes,
you know.
in Plano. And
Yeah.
it really is, massive. There are multiple buildings around this giant facility. And before COVID, they were out of parking.
Mm-hmm.
They had people all over the place. This is all of Toyota. Now, you go down there, and depending on what day of the week it is, it does not look full anymore. But that's just because of what day of the week it is, right? They are still working remotely. TFS though was out of space. So they moved the portion of their business that does what they call the dealer relations, right? The dealer interactions where the dealers call to get financing, the call-ins, their regional centers. They moved that to this new facility, which is across the road. I mean, you could maybe you with your driver. I don't know that I could hit it, but
with a little tailwind,
with a little tailwind, you could probably make it across the Rayburn Tollway. It's on the other side of the tollway from headquarters, so it's around the corner. Nice, very nice building. They're going to move about 1,000 people in there.
I want to. We're probably going a little over the normal planned time, but I do want to ask. You mentioned TFS is the biggest captive, which I think would surprise a lot of people until you think that, oh well, I guess Toyota is the number one brand. I mean, they don't have as many brands as GM, Ford clearly, but they also picked up Mazda's business. They run Mazda's financial arm now is basically a white label version of Toyota's. Toyota also has the relationship with Subaru, as we talked about earlier. Why wouldn't Toyota? I would think Subaru would want to be a part of Toyota's big, mighty, efficient, profitable, credit arm as well. But they're not.
It's a great question. One I keep asking. It's funny because when Mazda signed up and created this white label Mazda Financial Services with TFS, it really it allowed them to take off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Part of the thing that was driving their success is that they had all this additional lease strength that they could get out and push. And so I've asked Subaru executives and Subaru dealers as well for the last couple of years, how, are you happy? Are you happy? And are you going to follow Mazda here? And the answer repeatedly that I get back is no, we're good with Chase. Chase is there, does the white label for Chase Bank for Subaru. It's where my wife's Subaru loan is through. They want that. It's an important piece of business for Chase, and I think they're going to stay there. They don't show any indication to me that they want to move.
Yeah,
much as TFS would love to have that.
I'm sure chance to get even bigger for TFS, but I do hear Chase is very professional. They have a really strong auto banking business, and I think they've liked being a part of Subaru's growth over the last 10, 20 years. They've had such a run.
You could do worse than to sign up with Subaru. I will note though, real quick, so it's funny, like you talk about it's not just a banking relationship for Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a great example. Subaru came and said, their Subaru dealers said, well, look, we gotta do something about affordability, right? So Chase came up with it only works for some people, right? They came up, they're offering a 7,500 mile a year loan or a 7,500 mile a year lease for the folks that aren't driving now as much as what they were before.
Right. And they can sell it for less because there'll be more value left in the car at the end of the lease.
So the lease, that's some innovation.
It's a micro lease in a lot of ways, but sometimes you just need to have a vehicle for when you need one.
Right. And there are a number of customers, especially Subaru customers, right? Especially if you're not counting the miles off road, that would be comfortable staying underneath that 7,500 mile a year limit.
Very interesting. Thanks so much, Larry. We're going to take a break now. Next up, I'm going to browse dealership lot with Wayne Yount, product category manager at Michelin. And then Larry and I will go to the town hall to discuss this week's poll. Hey, I'm Jamie Butters. This is my new show, Autotown, where we look at the industry from the perspective of all of the stakeholders, including consumers and retailers. This is a segment I call Browsing the Dealership Lot, and we're on location again. Not at a dealership, but at the Michigan International Speedway near Brooklyn, Michigan. As I shared last week, Ford brought some journalists to the track to test out Ford vehicles upfitted with factory-designed and company-installed accessories to ensure those tricked-out Mustangs and Broncos could handle what we were putting them through. They were equipped with specific tires for the task. I got to chat with Wayne Yount from Michelin about the tires we used on the track and how to find the right tire for you. We're here at Michigan International Speedway. I'm with Wayne Yount from Michelin. He's an OE tire specialist.
Yep.
And we're out here talking tires and talking performance as part of our fun day out at the track.
So I am an OE product category manager with Michelin. So I help our OEM partners in Michelin develop relationship, but also develop the right tire to customize for their OE vehicle. So on the OE side, and then also as a subject matter expert, I come out and help with events like this to help educate people about tires and why we pick tires for certain vehicles and what works well based on what the driver needs for their needs.
Such a huge range of challenges for the tire, from something like a 800 horsepower Mustang versus a pickup or a Bronco or some of the other stuff we've driven today.
Absolutely, and that's why we have different tire lines. That's why out here on these 800 horsepower Mustangs, you've got Pilot Sport Cup 2. That's a top tier track-oriented tire that is going to give you a great amount of confidence when you're on the track doing events like this. I mean, you experienced it yourself when you were driving this
amazing.
car around.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was so great. There was only one time I almost lost it, and I'm sure that was me, not the tire, because the next time around I drove better, and it just responded great.
And that's what's there. It's all about the progressivity and the forgiveness that the tires can give you. And the higher you go in the order, the more an experienced driver can extract even more performance out of them. But still, anybody like me, I can drive, but I'm not a driver, is the way I put it.
We see what even a casual race fan like me sees, how they change tires for different environments. How do you know coming out to a day like today? You don't have different tires lined up to swap out on these, depending on if it's 100 degrees or 65.
No, for today, the Pilot Sport Cup 2s are a really versatile tire. It is a summer tire, so provided we're above the 40 degrees. As long as we're above 40 degrees ambient temperature, you can operate a summer tire.
Nice.
Even when you're close to 40 degrees, because it's a summer tire.
Yeah.
It says the season for a reason. So you have to be careful until you get temperature in the tire, but once it's there, you can operate it through the run. But that's where what differs is we take technology from like our IMSA racing series, and it cascades from the track to the street. And the Cup 2 is the place where it stops first. So Cup 2, Cup 2R, that's where we take the compounds, take the technology, take the learnings we get from racing in a series like IMSA, and are able to apply that to tires like this. So like what Ford put out with the GTD, it's got motorsports compounds in that tire to give them that absolute peak performance that they're looking for. But then we cascade that performance and that learning down as we go through the portfolio to customers that want to have a little spirited drive but aren't going to the track. So they have a Pilot Sport 4S like you experienced on the Maverick that was out there. It's a good all-around summer tire. It's going to give you some good life, good wet performance, but give you an exciting ride while you're at it.
When you have a chance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you have a chance to have a spirited drive without breaking any laws, then you're able to have some fun when you're ready for it.
Yeah, tire shopping can feel complicated sometimes.
Absolutely.
Any advice for consumers out there?
So the biggest thing is you pick a trusted tire professional, go in and ask them questions. The biggest thing a tire professional is going to help you as a consumer with doing is saying, well, how do you drive your car? Where do you drive? For me personally, I drive a pickup truck. So for me, I need something that is good for towing and hauling for light off-road. So for me, I ended up on a BF Goodrich KO3. Now my wife, her SUV, she does not go off-road. She drives around town. And where we live in South Carolina, I've got a choice between, say, a Cross Climate 2 all-weather that would let her go confidently up into the mountains into the snow, or we could do a Defender 2, and she gets long mileage, quiet life. So there's always something for a consumer when they go to their tire professional to ask questions of them. Also, answer the questions truthfully. Their tire advisor should ask them to say, hey, what's the best combination for what you need?
Right.
And there's also always offers at different budget levels, so you really get a variety. That's why we make so many different types of tires, is you can optimize for what you need the most.
Wayne, I appreciate all your thoughts on this. Is there anything else that the people of Autotown ought to know before I let you go?
I appreciate you taking it.
Well, we're here at the Ford Custom Garage event, so it's one of those where we've partnered with the Ford Custom Garage as a result of our partnership with Ford Racing. So as you bring the OE tires as a full combination with the Raptor Rs, the GTD vehicles like that, we thought we would demonstrate for everybody that's been here today the level of performance you can get with a Michelin tire or a BF Goodrich KO2 like you saw on the Bronco Raptors. In the aftermarket, you can choose when you go to your tire dealer, you can choose which tire you want, and hopefully you choose a Michelin.
Wayne, that was great. Thanks so much. Appreciate your time. That was my conversation with Michelin's Wayne Yount out at the Michigan International Speedway. Now we're going to take a short break, then Larry and I will stop in at the town hall to talk about the ideal retirement mobile. Aumovio is a top-tier global automotive supplier, but some of you may not be familiar with the name. Aumovio is the independent company that used to be Continental's automotive business. It spun off last September to be an adaptive, high-performance powerhouse built to thrive in today's rapidly evolving automotive landscape. It's the startup with decades of experience behind it, delivering cutting-edge solutions and leading the way in making future mobility safe, exciting, connected, and autonomous. Aumovio, more than a new company, it's a bold vision for the future of mobility. Hey, and hear ye, that's right, we're at the Autotown Town Hall. I'm Jamie Butters, and riding shotgun, my co-host is Larry Vellequette, senior staff reporter and columnist at Automotive News. Work, am I right?
Oh, yeah. The acoustics are much better here in the town hall, right?
Eventually, many of us get to retire, which sounds pretty nice some days.
Counting the days.
Moving on from the daily grind is a lifestyle change. You have different patterns and obligations. Made me think about how someone's vehicular needs might change too. So I wanted to ask the good people of Autotown, what type of vehicle do you want in retirement? You want a car, like a sedan or convertible? Do you want an SUV or a crossover? More of a pickup or a minivan? Larry, you've been known to help people buy cars. You negotiate on their behalf just to be a nice guy or for the sport of it. Have you ever bought a car?
All for free, by the way. Just to.
There we go.
I just do it for the fun.
For the love of the game.
Yeah, for the love of the game.
Have you ever bought a car for a retiree?
Many times.
Yeah?
Yeah, many times I've helped people buy cars. It's always a process. And the most important thing is to first tell that, or for them to decide what kind of car that they want, right?
Yeah.
Just the list that you talked about. So many times people go in and say, well, I kind of like this, I kind of like that. But then I kind of go through a process with them. What do you want? What are you going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to just sit in your garage? Are you going to, be out helping your kids fix things? Are you going to have boats and toys to tow? These are all the questions that
Are you going on long cross-country trips?
Yeah, you're going to go take long cross-country trips. How big a factor is the financing, and are you going to pay cash? Are you going to, would you lease because you're not going to drive it very often? Just going through this process it can be a little overwhelming, but boy, if you can do that before you ever walk in a dealership, it makes it so much easier.
Miles ahead. Any thoughts on your own retirement vehicle? If you're counting the days, are you also kind of browsing the lots and thinking what might be it?
I am. I told myself years ago that, and this was back when I was covering Volkswagen, right? I was like, boy, I really like that. I really like those Audis. But as you and I know, there's nothing more expensive than a used German vehicle.
Nothing more expensive to own.
To own than a used German vehicle. So I don't know that's in the cards for me.
Yeah.
That dream has probably gone. I have helped people buy several vehicles, retirees buy several vehicles. The thing that I have been telling people now is, especially retirees, right? You need a second vehicle. Or if you need a second vehicle between the two of you, make one of them an EV. Make one of them a used EV. Because right now, there are no better deals out there on used EVs or than used EVs, because we have more EVs than what we have buyers. And if you never have to worry about the price of gas, that is something.
Yeah.
Right? If
you think about if you're at least the cliche, right, is fixed income.
Yeah.
If you can buy your vehicle, put a charger in your garage, you're kind of set.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't have to worry about it and you can buy it used, I mean, what's going on is we had the
inflation,
the federal incentives, right? That expired, and so
just
we have all these.
Clarify, in the Inflation Reduction Act in particular, there was some argue it's a loophole, some argue it was intended to be this way, but it really incentivized leases. There were income caps on getting the $7,500 federal tax credit if you were purchasing it. But if you were leasing it, it didn't matter how expensive the vehicle was or how much money the
and manufacturing caps on what vehicles qualified. Right. So all the nameplates like Hyundai, for example, that couldn't qualify as a purchase could qualify as a lease. So you had all these used leases coming back right now
for the next 3 years. Really, it's just growing and growing.
And
100,000 in the first half, 200,000 in the second half of this year, 1.1 million over the 3 years.
Yeah, crazy number of vehicles. Like the one that I tell people, go buy a Chevy Bolt.
Yeah.
Right. You cannot do better right now than a Chevy, like a 2023 Chevy Bolt. They never have any miles on them. And you can just drive the heck out of that thing for almost nothing. It's a fantastic second car for your family, right? And one that, so that your spouse can go do what your spouse wants to do. You still have the gas vehicle to go take whatever trips you are.
But most of the drives are short drives around town, around Metro Detroit or wherever you live. And most people drive, 5 to 10 miles at a time. And he's in an EV. That's super easy.
Oh, yeah. Now, most people, not me, of course, everybody else.
Before you covered Toyota, you covered the old Chrysler Corp brands for a long time.
The artist formerly known as Chrysler.
That's right. And so many changes of names for that artist. But they, some of those executives back at the company when I first started covering it, in the Daimler Chrysler days, Chrysler Group days, they were really advocates for minivans for retired folks, for older folks, because you still have a lot of space like in an SUV, but there's so much easier to get in and out of. It's a really, low step in. They're so ideal because you don't have to go down
Yes.
like in a car,
You
and
go
you have to
up.
go up like in a truck.
Yeah, but not as high. So,
Yeah.
so you can get in and out of them. They are. I've argued this for years, right? Minivans are the perfect vehicle. They are trucks, and especially the Chryslers with the stow and go, right?
Yeah.
They transform themselves into trucks that, unless you got something tall, you can probably get it in there.
Mm-hmm.
They are comfortable as all get out on trips, and when you've got extra people with you, and they'll haul your whole family,
And they're fuel efficient.
They're fuel efficient, and they're fun. They're nice to drive.
Yeah.
And of course, unless you get freaked out by the sliding second door,
Right.
and you'd rather have some giant truck, but makes some sense.
I'll be interested to see what the Autotownies say in the poll. I'll be very curious about it. So, folks, you can go to the Autotown with Jamie Butters LinkedIn page or other social media sites to cast your vote. You can leave a comment, and I may read it on the air. Autotown Radio is every Saturday at 7 a.m. on WJR 760 and posted to the world's audio platforms soon afterward. Thank you all for visiting Autotown today. Thank you to Larry Vellequette for joining me here in the studio. Thanks to Wayne Yount from Michelin and the Ford Custom Garage team for setting up that event. I'm Jamie Butters. This show was produced by Matthew Peach at M1 Studios with additional video by Charlie Fracker. Original artwork is by Shelley Trombley. Maya Keener is on social media. The theme song Handles Like It's on Rails. It was composed by Jonathan Franco. Very special thank you to our sponsors, Almovio and Toyota. If your business is interested in becoming a sponsor, please contact Autotown's executive producer, James Davies. You can be an active citizen of Autotown. Follow the show on LinkedIn to participate in the weekly poll. You can also follow Autotown on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever is your favorite social network. Audio can be found on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, and so on. And of course, you can visit Autotown every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 760 WJR in Detroit.